Perfect. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning. If not, let's hope that we can make it better with this pre-market show. Hope everyone had a great day yesterday. Plenty of stocks in play yesterday. As we saw, MU, Nvidia, AMD, all were pretty active towards the end of the. Actually, right after the open, they both started selling off. I think it was right before it, right? I think with MU and all these, Nvidia has some news with it, which affected AMD and MU as well. And Intel, not as much, but both were, all three of them were in really good play. AMD gave us a hard time, but the rest were pretty good. So we'll get into those. As usual, here's the rundown. We're going to have our Tech Tuesdays. We'll go over our top plays and highlights of yesterday, and also we'll do the market policy, what the market is doing. This morning, and we'll see. As usual, we'll get into our pre-market watch list building. So, all right, excellent. So let's get right into it. So, for Tech Tuesdays, every Tuesday we try to do something technical. And one of the things that has come up a lot is in question. We have mentioned this before. Is how to switch from a SIM to live account. So this comes up quite often. So I want to just go over it again because I think it's one of the top questions we get, and I know we have a lot of new members. So I actually want to show you guys how to do this. It's very, very easy. Take a screenshot of what I'm about to show you, and then you can play it on. You can have it later on and available to you. So there's several ways to do this. I personally, the way I have it is my hotkey actually has the account number set up. So in my hotkey, I have my live account. So when I hit that hotkey, it just does it. But there's an easier way to do that when you're ready to switch over. There's an easier way to change that in global configuration. I want to show you a screenshot that I took of this. Switch account. Here it is. You could do this very easily, and when you're ready, and there's also a lot of posts on this in the forum. But when you're ready, you can do this on your end. When you need something, you can never find it. I just had it this morning. Oh, here it is. There we go. All right, so let me so here's what it is. Don't worry about who I was communicating with here, but here's the way you do. You want to go over to to select your live account, go over to global order settings. Then you're going to change the default here. This is under setup and order template. So change this default right here, the exchange. You can change to whatever you want, and then do the account number here. Change the account number. If you click on this, you're going to have your SIM and your live account. Select what account you want, and then from there just hit apply. If for some reason you can have a lot of options here. You can do just NASDAQ stock on one account, this one on another account. You can do all kinds of stuff. If you also want the montage to have a specific number of shares, you can do that here, right? You can set the number of shares. Let's say 500 is the number of shares you want to come up every time on your montage. You can change that there as well. You can change the route if you're using a specific route you want to use. Let's say if you want to use this a NASDAQ limit route so you can get some ECN fees, credits back. That's also a way to do it here. You hit apply, and that'll be the default every single time on all your montages. So again, it's just a question we get a lot. We have talked about this before. So please take a screenshot of this. If you have any questions on this, feel free to throw them in the off topic, and we can get back to you. All right, so let's get this out of the way. And let's go into our top plays for yesterday. So let's see what we have here yesterday. Here's our watch list from yesterday. Where's my pen? All right, so here's our watch list. We had quite a nice watch list. I think it turned out pretty good, and some of these stocks were really created some nice moves. Let's start with CAT here, CAT. So CAT right at the open sold off nicely. If you waited for the 5-minute opening range breakdown, right here was a perfect entry. It gives you a nice pullback, and then it sells off right down here for $1.50 or so. So again, just an amazing opening range breakdown. Now, if you missed it, it was okay, because if you look at the 1-minute chart, the 1-minute chart, I mean, it's very, 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 very hard to get into a trade like this, right? This is the 1-minute chart here. So yes, you have the pullbacks here, whatever, but for the opening range breakdown, you really have to look at the 5-minute chart and make sure that the pattern is actually showing here. But in the 1-minute chart, if you're trading off just the 1-minute chart, this was a very hard trade to get into, because again, it just looks very choppy. but the 5 minute was very clean. Then it does a nice little bounce here, reversal. Another engulfing pattern here. You can kind of get in here and kind of take this for a little short drop. But again, just a beautiful beautiful opening range breakdown on CAT. This one here, again, it was selling off. Some people took it at the pre-market. The pre-market was really nice. It had a double top here, and some people actually shorted this around this area here, and it sold off real nicely right into the open. Then at the open, it got a little choppy. At the open, it was not great. You had this 5 minute sell off, and then it came right back up, recover everything. I actually went long right here. I went long in this area here, expecting for it to pop to at least 11.94. Did not do that, so I got stopped out. Then I took it again with Andrew. Andrew went long around this area here. I think it was somewhere in here, I believe. So I got stopped out here. So I went long again with him here, and then took some profits out here, then got stopped out at break even. So break even trade for me. AMD was the one that again gave us a tough time, but I caught a really nice trade. We were live on when we were doing this trade yesterday. Again, really tough time here. I didn't trade it within this area. Andrew had a tough time, so check out his recap on YouTube as well and how he traded this. But you can see here, here's where I took it. I took it long around, let me see the 1 minute chart. I want to make sure. I should take a screenshot of it. But I took it long around this area here with a stop loss at the low of the day, right? Not a lot of shares. And then it went up nicely as you guys were in the chat room. I took some profits here and some up here. So it turned out to be a really nice trade. Actually, I got mistakenly took everything out here. Here. I wanted to set a stop limit order, and I did it incorrectly. I put the trigger higher than the actual price. When you do that, it takes you out of whatever price it is currently at. So I took some here and then everything out in error on this trade. But again, a beautiful trade. Again, if you got caught in this chop, it was nasty here. AMD did not bounce as Nvidia and MU did, and we'll go over those next. Nvidia was again, here's when the news broke out in Nvidia. They did not meet their sales, right? They had a bad earnings or so, so it just started dropping. Then it created this base here. Then it started again just gaining some of it back nicely. This was a hard opening range breakdown to take because the stock was already so extended. So you don't want to go short here when the stock has done this drop here, right? So you're kind of looking for the reversal a little early in the day, but this is when you want to look for a possible reversal. And a few people took it in here. I know Norm has a great recap. Check out Norm's recap on YouTube on how he traded Nvidia. He had a really nice trade here. So if you got in here, you could have wrote this up to the moving averages, VWAP, and then above to these levels here. So again, just a really nice move on this as well. MU on the other hand, MU just dropped and then completely gained everything back. So if you were able to get in here as well, it completely gained everything back, hit new highs, kind of consolidated here, then went higher again. So again, a tough trade as well. It was not easy to take. I missed it. Andrew missed this as well. But if you look at the 1 minute chart, here's where your entry is, right? The minute it does this new low and it starts popping up, it goes above VWAP. Maybe you don't get in here because you want to wait for confirmation. But here's your entry. The minute that it goes to VWAP again, it starts pushing up. That's your entry there. I missed that one. I didn't take that trade because I was messing around with VALE. INTC did the same thing. Again, dropped here, but again, this was not a great trade at all. This was very choppy, so it was very difficult to trade here. So hopefully you didn't get caught in any of this chop here. So that was our watch list. We also had AVCO on as a low flow and VIOC, but both of these didn't do much. If you see this here at the open, it just sold off and kind of grinding, higher slowly. Here you had a breakout, but you had to be around for this breakout and be patient because these were all fake outs here. And then BICO, I believe, just sold off. Really didn't do anything. Yeah, BICO just sold off. So no fallen angel here. You could have probably done some scalping on this, but again, the volume just died out completely, as you can see down here. And I had PCG was not on our watches, but I had it on here because we were looking at it yesterday. How crazy it was. It had gapped up here on a halt. Then when it opened up again, it halted 3 times. I think it halted here as well. Then from there, it went on its merry way. So again, just another example of why you don't want to be holding this stock for long periods of time. Once you think it's going to go up in one direction, you have this mess happening here. All right, guys, so let's get into what we have for today. We have actually a pretty big watch list here. So let's get into before I leave the top highlights and plays of the day of yesterday, make sure to check out, we have Norm's recap. He talks about, he has a beautiful trade on Nvidia, so make sure you check that out. Also, Robert has some good advice on probabilities, and he also took an Nvidia trade as well. So make sure you check both of those recaps out. And if you have a recap you want to share with us, please send it over if you have a good trade on your live account today. All right, so let's make some room over here. And so as usual, we're going to start with our pre-market gappers list over here on trade ideas, and then we will go into our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. First up, we have VALE in play again today. Let's see what's happening. So kind of gaining some of this back. Let's get our charts in order. All right, so right here, so this stock is again 2.9 million shares traded so far, and you can see that right up here in the montage, right? This is where you can see how much volume has been traded today so far, and we're up 4.9. You can see that right on there. So right now, pre-market action is looking good, just like yesterday. It is recovering a bit here. Daily chart, again, doesn't look too great, but this stock obviously has some news. It's trying to bounce back today from a huge sell-off yesterday. So this would be in play today for sure. Tons of volume. I like the pre-market action at the moment. A short selling restriction, but it is shortable. So you do have to sit on the ask to get if you want to short this stock. AVCO back in play today, but I don't really see it. Has the 110,000 shares up 2.5, but the pre-market action doesn't really look good. So let's throw this down here, see if it gets better. But the pre-market action at the moment, and what I mean by not a good pre-market action, look how choppy this is, right? This is all choppy. You don't want to be in a trade like this. This is a better pre-market action. It has a nice flow to it. It's kind of riding these moving averages, so that's a good pre-market action. All right, next we have Cron. Cron has been on a tear. What is Cron up to now? 20 bucks? Did it hit 20? Nope. All-time high 1935. I mean, this stock has been the last several days just been on a huge tear. So we'll mark 1935. That's the all-time high right now. So at the moment, traded 638,000 shares traded so far. It is up 2.2. So again, very strong stock at the moment. The last several days will definitely be in play today. MGP. Let's see what we have here. All right, so MGP, 331,000 shares traded so far, down 2.7. Daily chart looks nice. So you have this this kind of trend here. Now something broke out and we're gapping down 3%. So this looks good. Let's see the pre-market action. Pre-market action is so. It's kind of holding this level 29.40, which you can see right on here. It's kind of holding this and bouncing back over to 29.60. Pre-market action looks okay, but it does have nice volume. Hopefully, it can get a better pre-market action here. Let's see if it can break that 29.40 and drop lower. Nvidia in our list today as well. What is it? Yes, Drew. When it's on short selling restriction, you can see that right on here. You can, and you have the .S next to it. That means it is on short selling restrictions, but you do have shares to short. But what you have to do is you have to sit on the ask. If you try to hit the bid to get in right away with a market order, you're going to get rejected, right? So you have to set a limit order. You got to sit on the ask. Once you get an uptick, you'll get filled, and then hopefully the stock starts dropping your direction. In some cases, you're not going to get that uptick, right? And we missed entries, good entries before when you try to get into a trade, you sit on the ask, and next thing you know, this thing just tumbles down. And that is when you don't want to chase it, because usually after a nice drop, you're going to get the pullback. So if you get in at the bottom, then you get the pullback, you're already down a couple of cents. You want to be careful. If you miss your entry, you missed it, wait for the next opportunity, next pullback. So Nvidia, it is 340,000 shares traded so far, down 2%. Pre-market action looks okay. Let's see what the daily chart is showing. Yeah, so let's see if we can test the lows of yesterday again here. So yeah, Nvidia will definitely be in play. We'll keep it on here. Next we have VC. Is that Verizon? VC. What is this? Yep, Verizon. So Verizon, do we have earnings on Verizon today? So 974,000 shares traded. That's quite a bit, down 3.1. Good pre-market action, great daily charts. You can see here has a nice flow to it and a beautiful pre-market action. This is a great pre-market action when you see these candles, these nice candles with volume. That is a good pre-market action. So Verizon is in play today for sure. Let's get some space over here, smooth this down. All right, so Verizon missed revenues, beat on earnings and new subscribers. All right, thanks, Peter. So Verizon's got some negative news. SQ is 308,000 shares traded so far, down 3.7. Let's remove these levels here. We'll find some fresh levels for SQ. So SQ is definitely in play. It has a good pre-market action, which is, well, on the 1 minute chart, not the 5 minute chart so much, but. And now that I'm looking at a little closer to it, again, all the volume is here and here. So it has the volume, but the pre-market action is not looking too great with just the volume sitting or on these two candles mainly. All right, we'll keep it on here. Let's see if it gets better. Next we have PFE. PFE. 249,000 shares traded, but most of the volume is sitting on just a few candles, right? We have this one here, and this one here, and pre-market action looks so. Let's hope that it gets better. It is down 2.9. Let's see what the daily chart looks good. I like this daily chart. So it's a good daily chart, has some ranges to it. So this could be in play if it decides to get the volume and a better pre-market action. Let's keep it on here. Next we have PHI. Then after I'm done with this list, we'll look at the NASDAQ active and NASDAQ gainers. This is a buyout. So this right here, guys, looks like a buyout. 256,000 shares traded, or it's any kind of block trade, right? But it's all sitting in this one trade here. So this is something that's not in play at all. Look at the price action has been all flat. Then out of nowhere, you get this one order here that drops the price. So that's not in play. We'll get rid of that. Next we have SAP. I used to use this software before in my previous company. So they're down today. Only 105,000 shares traded so far, but they're down 4.3. But this is not a great pre-market action. This is a horrible pre-market action here, right? You have all the volume, 70,000 shares just in this one order here. So it's not making, again, just no action. This is not a good pre-market action at all. So SAP is not in play. Let's get rid of that. GME was a bit active yesterday. We didn't have it on our watch list, but somebody called it out and it was actually pretty active. Looks like we got some levels already on here. What did it do yesterday? Yeah, GME turned out to be a good short, right? It had this sell up and then sell down. You get in here for the break of the body of the previous candle and ride this down. So it turned out to be good. Then here's when it hit the scanners. We saw this live. Andrew was called it out. Nice engulfing pattern here. You can take this for a long, but after this weird candle, it's hard to take a trade like this because you just don't. This thing, when you have a candle like that, it really changes the whole entire flow of the stock. And look at this volume here. Almost 500,000 shares dropped in this one candle there. But today, it is losing it 20%. So that's huge for a stock that's trading at 15 bucks. So it is in play today. Pre-market action looks so. Let's get rid of all these levels. There we go. 3 million shares traded so far. So yeah, definitely in play today. What's this? GameStop, right? Is GameStop? Yep, GameStop. All right, anything else in our gappers list? Nope, I think that's it. Let's go over to our NASDAQ active NASDAQ gainers right over here. We'll go up to number 10. See if we can find something that looks interesting. VYGR is not that much volume. It is gapping up 47%, 172,000 shares traded so far. When it does get the volume, it seems to run. So we can throw it on here. What's the float for this one? I don't have no float information on trade ideas. Can somebody check Finviz for me, please? Oh, there it is. Wow, it's acting pretty slow. All right, 21.7 million shares. So we'll throw it down here. This is a riskier float. All right, so that one could be something if it gets the volume. It is gapping up 46%, so that's quite a bit. Next, we have SANM. Nothing happening here. Horrible pre-market action. Next, we have NXTD. Same thing. Horrible pre-market action. No volume right up here. Next, we have SFET. Starting to get some volume, but not really. Nothing happening now. EIGR. Nothing happening. No volume. WWD. No volume. SSYS. Nothing. Array. Nothing. Archon. Nothing. CRBP. Nothing going on there. HMNY. We know already it's not tradable, so we'll skip that one. This is not tradable. Look at this. It has 1 million shares traded, but look at this action. You don't want to trade that. Next, we have TRVN. TRVN is it's almost less than $1 in some case, but yeah, I don't want to trade this. Has the volume, but I don't think this is tradable. What's the daily chart look like? You know, it could be. Let me not have a bias on this. Let me throw it on here. It has the volume. Pre-market doesn't look great. This is a great pre-market action here. See, this is nice, has a flow to it, but it just needs the volume. Doesn't have the volume quite yet, so hopefully can get that. AVCO. Why did I put this on here? This looks like crap. Yeah, this is garbage, like Andrew was saying. Let's get rid of this. I don't think this is in play right now. All right, so next we have Eric. Nothing happening here. Has the volume, but no pre-market action. Cron is good. We have Cron up here as well. AMD. No, AMD has the volume, but really it's not really in play at the moment. ETF, not trading that. NVCN has the volume for 559,000 shares, up 10%. But it's under $1. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. So I'm gonna not look at that one. ETF and Nvidia we have already. All right, guys, what are you guys watching on your end? What do you guys have? All right, so VYGR. Yes, VRGY. Yeah, this is in play. It's getting the volume. It's up 48%, 187,000 shares traded so far. So yeah, that's in play. Next we have OCX. OCX up 107%. How come this is not in our NASDAQ active? Oh, because it's American Exchange, right? This is what it is. This is in the... Yeah, we keep it on here. I usually don't trade this this exchange, but that's why it's not showing up in our NASDAQ exchanges here. But yeah, it has the volume, 900,000 shares traded so far. And yeah, it's great volume here. Trying to see if it actually, when it gets the volume, does it run? Yeah, when it gets the volume, it does run. So yeah, we could keep this on here. So that's good. Thank you guys. What else we have? MMM. This one is up 2.8, but it needs the volume. Doesn't have a great pre-market action. It needs more volume to be in play for the open at least. SANM, no volume. It is up 23%, which is nice. What's the float on this? That's a big gap up for this stock that's trading at 27. 66. Yeah, this is. I mean, I like the gap, but I don't like the pre-market action right now. But I like the fact that it's up that much, right? That can be in play later on in mid-morning. So we'll throw it down here, but I'm probably not going to watch it for the open. I'll probably check it out later after the open. I can look into this and see what's going on, or see if it hits our scanners. Yeah, VZ we have. VC's over here, definitely in play today. Down 3.7, 1.1 million shares traded so far. All right, Fast Tilt is telling us HOG. HOG, what is this? Harley Davidson, I think it is, or no? Yeah, Harley Davidson. What's the deal with them today? All right, so 81,000 shares. They're down 8%. I like this daily chart too. I like the daily chart when you have this huge gap like this. It could create some action. But it's in the same boat as SANM as well. Again, it's gapping down nicely. Great daily chart, but it doesn't have the volume just yet. So we'll throw it on here for a possible later on in mid-morning. We can tune into this. Mitchell Bell, we got GLW. GLW up 3.1. Doesn't have the volume yet. This got to get more volume down here, but it is. What's the daily chart look like? Yeah, another great daily chart. This is nice. You got a nice flow to it, consolidating, then you have this gap up now, and now it's losing some of it. I wish it had more volume. So again, just kind of in the same boat here. We can throw it on here for our possible mid-morning play. Or if they get the volume later on, it's still pretty early. It's only a little bit before 9 a.m. Eastern time, so we got some time for this to develop. PCG, yeah, PCG is still one of those stocks that you want to be really careful trading. I'm sure PCG is going to give you some action, but just looking at this without knowing any information on PCG, this pre-market action looks amazing. This is a good pre-market action. It's what you want to see in your stocks. The issue with PCG is that you just don't know what to expect. You can get in short, and next thing you know, this thing is going to halt on the way up for a couple of bucks. It can be at 15 in a matter of minutes. So just very hard to manage your risk in this stock. If you get in, the key is to get out immediately. When you have profit, you want your moves to happen right away in this stock. If it doesn't, just jump out. You don't want to hold on to this. I see we saw what happened yesterday here, right? Yesterday was just crazy. It's just out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, you start getting the volume. Not even a lot of volume. Look at this. It's not a lot of volume, right? And then it gaps up almost to 14.25. So how do you manage your risk there? Then it halts immediately, right? So if you don't get out right away, you're gonna get caught in this halt. Next thing you know, you're back down to where you came from. So, and it has happened several times. It happened on this day here as well, right? Here was at 7, gapped up to 10, 13, then 14. So it's just been too crazy. All right, what else you guys have on your end? Richie, they file for bankruptcy, or is there rumors for bankruptcy? Because I know there's rumors for sure, but have they really filed already? They did. Oh, so that's interesting. Let's put PCG on here then. All right, let's put PCG on here then. That's the case. Not sure if I'll watch it, but we'll go through this list and pick out the best. And if we have a spot for any of these, we'll throw them on there. All right, guys. So let's go through this list. Let's find some levels. Anything else? As we go into the levels XPO, as we go into some levels here and our possible support and resistance. If you throw a ticker out there, we'll come back to it and take a look at it. I don't have any info on XPO. What is XPO? Is XPO some kind of ETF or something? No, XPO is logistics. No, it's a regular stock. All right, so yeah, I don't have no info for it for some reason. I have no volume info on here from NASDAQ, from Dash Trader, so we'll skip it for now. Yeah, I agree, Benny. PCG is way too risky. It's just, again, you just can't, it's very hard to manage your risk on there. All right, guys, so let's go through this list. So let's start at the top. Let's remove some levels. We'll get some fresh levels here. All right, so VALE sold off nicely yesterday. Gained some of it back this morning, already up 5%, 3.5 million shares traded. It is shortable. So let's find some levels here. You already have two key levels. Previous day close all the way down here, previous day low. Pre-market low is hanging around the previous day close as well. Previous day high from yesterday. We're kind of getting to that point right now, previous day high from yesterday. So on the way up, you have a very clean level over here. This is the gap. Right, if it wants to close the gap, 1257, that's where it needs to get to, right? 1257, let's find a level in between here. 1257, obviously a strong support level for several over several months. You can see it keeps coming back down to it, bounces from it. So that's been a big level. Oh, here we have a crack of that 1257 at 1228 or so. And then we have another one right over here. It's pretty close to where we're at now, but let's mark it anyways. Right over here at 1196. All right, so that's towards the upside. Towards the downside, what's the last time we went down here? Is this all-time low for this company? No, it's not. Whoops, zoomed in too much. All right, so if it decides to head back down towards the low of yesterday, we got a level over here at 1068. We have another one down here around 960. I don't think it drops that much, but we have those levels just in case we go short and get lucky and these things decide to take a swim. We can ride that down. So got some good clean levels now. It's looking pretty strong, like it's trying to gain some of it back, but don't get fooled. This thing can bounce off this 1180 level and start dropping again. Look at Cron. We turn our backs for a second and it drops below the previous day close. Look at this. All right, so again, it's just been very strong, so I'm sure there's people taking profits left and right. Let's remove these levels, find some good clean levels here. Let's remove all. All right, perfect. All right, so then all-time high sitting at 1935. Right now we're kind of bouncing off this previous day close and high from yesterday. I know there's a level between here because the last all-time high was around 15 or so. So let's find that level. 15 or 1430, I don't recall, but let's go back and look for that level here. Actually, no, there's nothing in between here, right? We're way past that. My mistake. This was the all-time high a few days ago. Right, so there's really no other level down here besides this one here. Right, so obviously there's no moving averages here. We haven't been up here. It's all-time high right now. So we could just mark You know, you can mark 17. 17 could be a possible target. You know, mark down 17.50 as well. That's another one. So you just want to go by the dollar signs, really. Actually, 18 could be 18 is a better one, actually. So yeah, no levels, no good levels in between here. So you can just mark those two just for now, just to have some kind of reference of calculating your possible targets. MGP is bouncing back a bit now, kind of trying to gain some of it back. 490 shares traded. Volume is starting to come in, so this is starting to look like a better pre-market action. Let's mark the low of the pre-market right now at 28.38. On the daily chart, towards the top side, you have the low from yesterday, low from 2 days ago, low from yesterday, then the previous day close. So towards the upside, you have plenty of levels already there. Towards the bottom, you have this one down here, also next to this moving average, 28.97. And then if we crack that, if we get lower, you can go 28.27. I don't think we'll get down there, but it's looking like it wants to recover some of the losses now. All right, so pre-market action is kind of building a base here. Let's see if it can hold that. It needs more volume though. Although it has 496,000 shares, doesn't look like it's actually doesn't look very active. All right, so Nvidia is losing some now. We have some good levels for Nvidia already. So 130, very close to the previous low of yesterday. We also have 125 that's still in play, and we have 121.17. Then towards the top side, you have the previous day close here. You have 139.55 from these 2 days over here. And then you have the high of yesterday at whatever that is, 130, what's that, 141 or so. All right, cool. So starting to sell off a bit now. Nvidia is definitely in play. It has a good, it's starting to be a good pre-market action, right? So from here, it doesn't look great. Now it's starting to kind of build a nice flow here. So that looks nice. Verizon also, again, another great pre-market action, guys. Look at this flow here happening, kind of building a base here, maybe a double bottom in the pre-market. So that's the type of action you want to see for the open. So let's mark the low of the pre-market at the moment at 52.93. Below that, we have 52.46 from this day over here. Then below that, we got to go back, but there's a level right over here at 51.55. I don't think we get lower than that, but we already got some good levels towards the downside. Towards the upside, obviously, you have the previous day close. You got the previous day low. And then if you want something in between, we can see if we find a good clean level in between. I don't think there is one. But this 54.33 is the best level you have in between here, right? You have these 2 days bouncing off from here. This day closing here. This day closing here. This day opening here. So that 54.33 could be a good possible level. There's nothing else that's cleaner than that at the moment. So Verizon is definitely in play. 1.2 million shares traded so far. It is down 3.2. A good pre-market action. SQ, not great. Not a good pre-market action. This doesn't look too good. So let's get rid of this. PFE, same thing. Has the volume, but this pre-market action just looks crappy. I'm on the fence. Let's see. I like the daily chart though. Let's find some levels that we'll decide later if we're going to keep this one or not. Low of the pre-market 38.11. Actually, the best level towards the top side is the previous day close. Really nothing else between here. So what we'll do is let's see what the high of the pre-market is. Let's mark that. Oh, you really don't have one. It's above the previous day close. So we'll mark this one here, 38.90. The reason I'm marking this level is because, again, you drop, came back to this level, kind of tested it again, and then it dropped. So let's see if we can break that 38.90. The next best level after this would be these two up here. So let's keep that for now. And then towards the downside, you have 38.11, which is the pre-market low. And then below that, you have 36.35. But there's some, we can mark this one. This was a closer level. 37.33. All right, so PFE hopefully gets the volume. It needs this consistent volume here above 30, right, in every candle. This will create a nice flow like it's starting to do so now. So hopefully it continues to do that. GameStop going sideways a bit, already build the base. Low of the pre-market 11.39. So let's mark that down. 11.39 low of the pre-market. Let's look at the daily chart. See, this could be a strong level. This 11.39, we tested it here and bounced back up from there. We can, towards the upside, we can mark 13.74, and also here 13.23. And I tend to like these levels. When you see the daily chart consolidate under one price, I usually tend to like those levels because it can be a good profit taking area or area of resistance for this stock. So I'm going to mark 1261 as well. Towards the bottom, let's see what we have, because this thing looking pretty weak right now. No manual, no AMD and no MU today. Though they were great yesterday. Not AMD at the open. But I think we have other stocks that are actually trading better. I haven't checked MU actually. So I'll check MU next, but see what happens with AMD and MU when things are not, when we don't have a lot of stocks in play, those are stocks you know are going to get the volume and they could trade nicely. So we usually have them in our watch list. But when we have a day like today where our gappers has, 10 other stocks that are actually in play, it might not be trading with the market. Those might be better opportunities. So, but I'll take a look at MU as well. GameStop 1242 is the next level that looks clean towards the downside. All right, so GameStop looking weak. We do have shares for short, so that's good. All right, so I think we have a pretty nice list already. Let's see what VYGR is doing. I'm not sure about this. All right, pre-market high is 1247. Again, I like these levels here, the consolidation levels, right? I like those because it could be a good falling edge opportunity. So I like that. And below that, you could even have a 1035. Then towards the top, you have this peak over here, 1345. Then here's hard to find a level, right? Because it's kind of just like a down slope. So it's really hard to find a clean level like this one here. Clear spike and back down. So you got that level right on there. But here it becomes a little harder. So I'm going to get this one 1472 because you got the spike over here. And I'm going to do this one up here at a 1567. I think that's enough. We get anywhere above those levels, that'll be great. But I think that's pretty good levels already. Let's see if we can hold this here and if we can go above that 1247. TRNV, this is not looking good. I'm going to get rid of this. It has the volume, but now it's just this pre-market action looks horrible. And actually, most of the volume is sitting here. So, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this one. OCX looking very good. I think someone mentioned this one in the chat. It's about to crack the high of day. So let me not even mark that. Let me find some levels towards the... Okay, here we go. Very nice clean level here. It doesn't get cleaner than that. 4.57. And is this a recent? No, it's not. The way it's moving right now, it looks like it is going to get to that 4.57. So I'm going to mark up here 6.39. I'm going to mark this date also over here 5.56. So clean level, very clean level here. Not the cleanest level here, but I like it that it's here. I like that it's supporting it here. And I think I saw something back here as well. Well, I got kind of like that one there too, but this will be good for now. All right, so it's looking pretty strong. Let's mark, I want to mark this high here in case it does a falling angel. It can come back to this level and head up. Let's also mark down 342 as well. All right, really strong right now. Look at the volume coming in on this stock. This thing is going to crack 457 with no problem, looks like. So this is definitely in play. All right, so we talked about these, hopefully holding them for later on. We're not going to watch them now. These are good mid-morning plays, not really in play at the moment. All right, cool. What else you guys have that we have not gone over yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got way too many. I got to get rid of some. So what I'll do, guys, I'll keep this watch list for now, and then when Andrew comes on in a few minutes, I'll see what he has to say about some of these, and also take in his experience. He might say this looks like crap, like this one here, PFE. He might say this looks like crap and drop it, and I'll drop it, right? You got to take advantage of the experience that these guys bring to the table. So this looks good. It has the volume, 3.8 million shares traded. It's kind of looking a little toppy right here on the 1180. And last time it was around 1180. It sold off yesterday, right? Let's go back. Yes, you had to open it bounced back a little bit, then it sold off again. Last time it was at 1180. So Then it also did this. Look at this sell-off here as well. Did a double bottom, popped up, and then sold off again at this level. Sold off again here. Consolidated here. Was able to break through it this time. So, but it's looking very toppy right here. So let's see what it ends up doing at the open. Quran sold off a bit, back down to the previous day close. Looks like it wants to. Let's see if it can hold that. But again, this stock, be careful shorting this thing if you have shares for short, because this thing has been really strong. Look at this since the 19th of what, December? Yeah. Look at this. It's just been on a tear. Is that December or January? Yeah, December, right? December here. Yep, perfect. So again, it's just been on a tear. Oh no, that's 2019 this year, January. So since January, late December, January, this thing just took off. So I'll be what's CGC's doing? CGC's whoops. All right, same thing. It's been really strong as well. Kind of selling off a bit now and just holding. All right, so anything else on your end, guys? Anything else that we haven't looked at yet? Oh, Ethan, I hope that was not true, man. I hope they didn't burn down your house, because that would suck. But yeah, PCG, I mean, who wants to buy this stock? It's just crazy. And so PCG did file for bankruptcy. I'm shocked that if they file for bankruptcy, this thing is not in the ground yet. You know, like, what's going on? All right, so yeah, we said we're going to look at MU. Let's check out MU. Yeah, horrible pre-market action, not a lot of volume, and AMD actually looks better. Here looks better, not the 1 minute, just looks horrible, but the 5 minute chart looks better, has a lot more volume, heading back down to the previous day close. But AMD has done a crappy chart. Look at the last several days. It's been very, very crappy. Usually we're not used to trading AMD like that. You know, it's been a lot better these days here. We had a nice kind of flow to it. Now it's just kind of chopping around. Again, this tells you what the market is basically doing. AMD does what the market does plenty of times than not. Actually, the SPY looks even better than AMD, really. All right, guys, so coming up on 9:12 Eastern time. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. This is my watch list for today. I will finalize this a little better once we get closer to the market open at 9:30. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
So you went over OCX? Yeah. Hey, good morning. Yeah. Let's get down. Let's get down to it. Kind of a flat open here, eh? 30 up 30 cents on the SPY. Yeah. Yeah. GME. Oh, one big red candle. Huh. Yeah, no, I was looking at this. It's really, it's been weak for a long time, for a while anyway. We're right down at a level though, eh? Like a support level here. Hmm. Square's down a lot. Was it? Did it report? I didn't see. Oh, the the infamous downgrade. I think Hog reported HOG. That's maybe why they're down.